My name is Joanna, and the day my fiancé betrayed me began with a whisper I was never supposed to hear. It was a Sunday afternoon, the kind where the light feels soft and ordinary, the kind where nothing tragic should happen. Nathan and I were at his mother's house for one of her weekly family dinners. The ones where she pretended we were all close even though she barely looked at me unless she needed something done. I was carrying a tray of iced tea glasses toward the dining room. Nathan's mother had asked me to be a dear and help set the table like a good future wife. I didn't mind. Or rather, I thought I didn't. I was trying to make a good impression. Trying to be accepted. Trying to belong. I paused in the hallway for a second to adjust my grip on the tray. And that was when I heard it. My name. Followed by a soft chuckle. Joanna is emotional, Nathan said. My breath caught. His sister laughed. Too emotional, you mean? Another voice, his mother's, added. A big wedding would overwhelm her. She would cry through the planning. Bless her heart. Heat spread through my chest, sharp and humiliating. They weren't whispering out of privacy. They simply didn't care if I walked in. They didn't imagine I was close enough to hear. They never imagined I listened. Nathan's voice lowered into that faux gentle tone he used when he wanted to sound noble. I just want what's best for her, he said. She has anxiety. Stress gets to her. A small wedding is better. I do not want her feeling pressured. I almost dropped the tray. Anxiety? Me? I organized entire charity events without blinking. I juggled clients, schedules, emergencies, finances. I handled more in a single week than Nathan handled in a month. And somehow he had turned me into a fragile porcelain doll in front of his family. I stepped into the room. Everyone straightened as if caught stealing. Nathan flashed a bright smile, too fast, too rehearsed. Joanna, we were just talking about the wedding. His mother patted my hand. Dear, you agree a small, simple ceremony is better for someone like you, right? Someone like me. I placed the glasses on the table, keeping my expression still. Yes, I said. Of course. But inside something tightened, quiet and dangerous. Later, while Nathan spoke animatedly with his father, I stepped into the bathroom. The mirror reflected a woman who didn't look emotional. She looked steady, present, capable, far stronger than the caricature Nathan had painted of me. Why would he lie about me? Why would he tell them I couldn't handle a wedding? When we first got engaged, we had talked about a summer ceremony. He seemed excited. He even circled a date on the calendar. Then he changed everything. Told me weddings were too stressful. Told me I wasn't built for chaos. Told me that planning would overwhelm me. Smaller is better, he said. A private courthouse ceremony is more intimate, more meaningful. I believed him. But now, hearing him repeat that lie to his family, watching the way they nodded in agreement, something inside me cracked in a slow, deliberate way. On the drive home, he squeezed my hand affectionately. You were quiet tonight, he said. Everything okay? I smiled. Yes. He nodded, satisfied. He truly believed I was the version of me he had crafted in their minds, quiet, soft, harmless. And that's when the first real suspicion curled around my thoughts. Why does a man who says he adores me need the world to believe I'm too fragile for a real wedding? Why is he so desperate to avoid a celebration we once planned together? What is he hiding behind the lie he told them? That night, he fell asleep quickly, breathing evenly beside me. I stared at the ceiling, replaying their voices in my head. The laughter, the pity, the false concern. Too emotional, too overwhelmed, not capable. All lies. When Nathan shifted in his sleep and pulled me closer, I felt a chill run down my spine, not because of his touch, but because suddenly it felt like the hand of a stranger. He wanted a small wedding. He insisted on it, needed it. And the part one didn't understand yet, the part that would soon make everything make sense, was why. Because the wedding he was planning wasn't for me. It just hadn't revealed itself yet. I did not confront Nathan that night. I needed clarity, not chaos. But the next signs came quickly. Started with his phone. Nathan used to leave it anywhere, on the counter, on the nightstand, in the bathroom while he showered. Now he carried it like a second spine, tucked tight against his palm. Screen always tilted away from me. The first time it buzzed, he flinched. Actually flinched. I noticed. He noticed me noticing. Work, he said too fast. Just work. Work did not send heart emojis. Work did not call him my love. Work did not silence him into guilt. Then came the weekends. The man who once begged for lazy Saturdays together suddenly had projects, errands, friend emergencies. But he never said which friend, never gave details, never invited me. One night he came home late, cheeks flushed, eyes bright, smelling faintly of peony perfume. Not mine. I stepped toward him and he stepped back, laughing nervously. "You're imagining things," he said. Imagining. That word again. The perfect cage to put a woman in. 2 days later the universe stopped whispering and threw the truth straight at me. It happened at work. My coworker Beatrice hugged me in the hallway, eyes shining with excitement. "I'm so happy for you." I blinked. "For what?" She lifted her phone. "For the venue. The Willowcrest Estate. That place is impossible to book on weekends. How did you get it?" "Congratulations." My heart clenched. "I didn't book anything," I said. Her expression faltered. "Oh, but I saw the announcement. They posted it publicly. Your fiancé and his fiancée." Her confusion made my skin prickle. I walked away before she could finish and locked myself in a bathroom stall. My fingers trembled as I pulled up the Willowcrest Estate social page. The post was right there. "Congratulations to Nathan Brooks and his fiancée on reserving their summer wedding date." No bride's name listed. No tag. Just him. Him and a faceless someone. The date? Our date. The one he once circled with excitement before insisting I was too overwhelmed to plan a real wedding. My pulse pounded as I read the caption again. I scrolled. Liked comments. Heart emojis. People swooning over the lucky bride. Lucky bride. Not me. I screenshot everything. The post. The date. The timestamp. Every comment that congratulated a wedding I knew nothing about. I stared at the images until they blurred. Until the reality hit me hard and clean. Nathan did want a big wedding. He just didn't want it with me. When I got home he kissed my cheek like nothing was wrong. He told me he had a long work day. He asked if I wanted takeout. He changed the subject when I tried to ask simple questions. I looked at his face, the familiar, beloved face of the man I had trusted, and felt the truth circle me like a cold draft. He was lying. Deeply. Deliberately. Comfortably. That night he fell asleep beside me, arm draped across my waist. I stared into the dark. I didn't need proof of cheating. I needed proof of intent. So at 2 a.m., when his breathing turned slow and steady, I slid carefully out of bed. He always forgot to close his laptop when he was tired. I opened it. His email inbox glowed in the darkness. And then I saw it. A folder pinned to the top like a trophy. Wedding Lily. My breath vanished. Lily. Not Joanna. Not me. Not the woman sharing his bed. A cold tremor ran through my spine as I clicked the folder. Emails spilled across the screen. Cake tasting schedules. Dress fitting appointments. Floral design mood boards. Ceremony notes from your fiancée Lily. Every word sliced deeper. I moved to the photos attached. A woman with soft blonde curls and quiet eyes. Delicate dresses. Sweet captions. Asterisk, counting down the days until forever with him. Asterisk. Asterisk my heart, my future, my Nathan. Asterisk. She never showed his face. But she didn't need to. I recognized the cuff of his sleeve. His watch. His posture. His smile reflected in glass. My veins felt hollow. Scrolling further I found it. Their wedding invitation mock-up. Nathan Brooks and Lily Warren. Request the honor of your presence. At their wedding ceremony. This summer asterisk asterisk. Our date. My life. My future. Stolen. My hand shook as I saved every email, every attachment, every timestamp. Then I emailed copies to myself. Then to my backup. 2 women. 1 man. 1 wedding. And I was the one he called too emotional. As I closed the laptop, the truth hardened inside me like glass. Nathan wasn't afraid of overwhelming me with a big wedding. He was afraid of exposing the fact that he was planning one with someone else. I stood there in the moonlit silence of our bedroom and whispered the words that marked the start of his ending. If he wants a wedding, I'll give him one. But not the one he expects. I did not sleep that night. I watched the sun rise through the blinds while Nathan stretched beside me, blissfully unaware that I had already stepped out of the version of myself he could manipulate. At breakfast, he kissed my temple, poured himself coffee, and scrolled through his phone with a small smile tugging at his lips. He looked like a man building a double life brick by brick. I looked like a woman about to demolish it. The moment he left for work, I opened my laptop again and returned to the folder. Wedding Lily. If part 2 was shock, part 3 was clarity. I opened a subfolder marked vendor confirmations. Inside were invoices, contracts, deposits, and the signature attached to every form. Nathan's. Full name. Full handwriting. Full intent. He hadn't been tricked. He hadn't been pressured. He had orchestrated everything. And he was paying for it using a separate credit card I never knew existed. I checked the statements, each one a fresh wound. Dozens of payments to Willowcrest Estate, Amelia's Bridal Boutique, Harvest Bloom Florals, and Silver and Oak Catering. Not small payments. Not trial consultations. Locked-in deposits. All made during the month. He told me, "Let's keep our wedding small. It's better for your anxiety." My anxiety? No. His secrets. Then I clicked on the last invoice, the most expensive. Willowcrest Estate. Final venue payment. The date was 2 weeks away. My pulse slowed. A cold, precise calm settled inside me. 2 weeks until they walked into the venue. 2 weeks until their wedding rehearsal. 2 weeks until his double life collided with itself. And I planned to be there. Not screaming. Not sobbing. Not begging. Standing. Watching. Exposing. I needed more proof before I made my move. Not for him, for me. For the story that would unfold with no holes he could crawl through. I opened the email chain between him and the estate coordinator, a woman named Kendra. She wrote warmly, professionally. Asterisk. We look forward to hosting you and your bride. Asterisk. Asterisk. Your fiancée was lovely during her walkthrough. Asterisk. Asterisk. She mentioned the ceremony arch must face west. Will accommodate. Asterisk. Walkthrough. She had already been inside my venue. I scrolled further and found the attachment. Photos from their tour. Lily stood in the sunlight of the orchard path, touching archways, smiling at floral setups, testing angles for photos. Then one photo froze my breath. Nathan stood behind her, hands on her waist, chin resting on her shoulder. That pose. The exact pose he used in my engagement photos. My stomach turned. I clicked again, fingers cold. At the bottom of the email was a note from Nathan. Asterisk, please do not include my fiancée's last name anywhere online. Her family is private. Asterisk. Of course. He didn't want anything traceable. Except one line gave him away. Kendra replied. Asterisk, of course. I've labeled everything under Brooks, Warren until final confirmation. Asterisk. Warren. Her last name. I opened another tab and typed. Lily Warren plus our city. I found her instantly. A teacher. Volunteer. Quiet social media presence. Soft eyes. Warm smile. She posted photos of books, candles, gardens, family dinners. Nothing of Nathan beyond a shoulder, a hand, a silhouette. It was strategic. It was deliberate. It was quiet. He chose a woman who didn't ask questions. Who trusted easily. Who believed in gentle things. The perfect audience for his lies. But something else caught my eye. A bracelet on her wrist in one photo. Familiar. Silver. Small heart charm. My bracelet. The one Nathan gave me on our 1-year anniversary. He re-gifted it. It felt like someone slapped me. My throat tightened, but tears did not come. Not anymore. I opened a new folder on my desktop titled Proof Final. I dragged every file. Every invoice. Every photo. Every screenshot. Every email. I backed it all up twice. Then I called Mia. She answered on the first ring. What did he do now? She asked. I exhaled. Mia, he is planning an entire wedding. A full wedding. With another woman. Silence. Not disbelief. Rage. You're not going to confront him yet, she said. You're going to finish gathering everything. And then. Her voice darkened. You're going to let him expose himself. I already know where and when, I whispered. The venue. The date. 2 weeks. They're walking straight into their own reveal. Mia breathed out, sharp and satisfied. Good. Then you need 2 more things. What? 1, a lawyer. Someone who knows how to handle marital fraud and public venue contracts. 2. Someone on the inside at Willowcrest. My pulse quickened. You know someone? I asked. My cousin works catering for them, she said. And she hates men like Nathan. Perfect. Piece by piece the plan formed itself. Not revenge through fire but precision. His lie would unravel in the worst possible place. The ceremony aisle he never meant for me. I closed my laptop, pulse steady. Nathan thought he was building a dream. He didn't realize he was building a stage. And I would make sure everyone saw the truth when the curtain finally rose. When I reached Mia's townhouse, she opened the door before I even knocked. Her expression was sharp, the way it always was when she sensed danger before I finished explaining it. Tell me everything, she said. I stepped inside. The moment the door closed, the air felt safer. Like I was finally somewhere I could stop pretending I was fine. I handed her my phone with the photos, the overheard voice note, the 2 names in Nathan's calendar, the text from the bridal boutique. Mia scrolled slowly, her jaw tightening more with every swipe. He is marrying 2 women, she whispered. At the same time. At your venue. I nodded, my throat tight. And he thinks I am the problem because I want a real wedding, I said. He says I am too emotional, too dramatic, too invested. Mia set my phone down like it burned her. You are not emotional, she said. He is building a double life and hiding behind your personality to justify it. I lowered into the chair. My body felt both heavy and wired, like I had been awake for days. What do? I asked. She folded her arms, thinking fast. First, she said, you do nothing impulsive. Not yet. You do not confront him. You do not warn him. You do not give him time to adjust his lie. I breathed slowly, letting that settle. Second, she continued, we gather what we need. If he is reckless enough to schedule 2 brides on the same timeline, he will slip. And when he slips, you will be ready. She walked to her desk and pulled out a notebook. Who is the other woman? She asked. Her name is Lily, I said. The boutique said she placed a rush order on a dress last week. Mia wrote the name down. And the wedding dates? Do they overlap? I hesitated. He told me our wedding was being moved forward to fit his schedule, I said. Now I understand why. He said he booked the venue for us alone. But the receptionist's binder had 2 pages marked with his name. Mia's brows lifted. He's using the same space? The same day? Yes. She let out a low, incredulous breath. He is either brilliant in his delusion or painfully stupid. I lowered my eyes. He always liked control, I said softly. He wanted everything to orbit around him. Mia placed a hand on my arm. Then we let him keep thinking he's in control, she said. That's how you win. I swallowed. What's the plan? She leaned back, her voice steady. You keep acting like you believe him. You smile. You go to the rehearsal dinner. You let him think you are still trying to manage your emotions. Meanwhile, we find Lily. My stomach tightened. You think she knows about me? No, Mia said. If she knew, she wouldn't be scheduling fittings at the same boutique he took you to. The truth hit hard. Lily wasn't the villain. Nathan was. I exhaled shakily. And what do we do when we find her? We give her the truth, Mia said. Not out of spite. Out of self-defense. If she walks into that venue unaware, he wins. If she walks in knowing what he's done, you win. My pulse quickened at the thought. And then? I asked quietly. And then, Mia said, we let him walk into the disaster he built with his own hands. I stood pacing. He told his entire family I was overwhelmed by the wedding, I said. That I was the one slowing things down. That I cried too easily. That he had to handle the logistics because I couldn't. Mia's expression hardened. He weaponized the stereotype, she said. The emotional woman trope. The one men use when they're hiding something. He told his mother I wasn't stable, I added. He said I needed a smaller wedding for my nerves. Mia pinched the bridge of her nose. Oh, I hope I am standing close enough to see his face when this collapses. She turned and pulled her laptop open. Sit, she said. We're building the timeline. We outlined every detail. The dates. The boutique appointments. The receipts saved in my email. The rehearsal dinner schedule. The venue coordinator's binder. The voice note I recorded outside his office door. 6 seconds of him saying, one ceremony at noon, the other at 4. Mia stared at the note like it was the final puzzle piece. That's your hook, she said. This is not a breakup. This is exposure. I felt something shift inside me. Not rage. Not sorrow. Alignment. Purpose. Mia closed the laptop. Tomorrow, she said, we find Lily. We tell her the truth. And if she believes us. She paused, a slow smile forming. She'll help you walk into that venue together. My breath caught. 2 brides. 1 aisle. 1 man who thought he could juggle them. Mia squeezed my shoulders. Joanna, this is no longer about heartbreak. It's about justice. I nodded. And for the first time since everything began, I felt ready. That night I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the same image. Nathan standing at the altar with 2 brides unknowingly orbiting his lies. Me on one side, Lily. On the other. His smile rehearsed, his vows practiced, his mask uncracked. But morning changed something. I woke up not as the woman he had called too emotional, but as someone preparing for war. I showered, dressed, and drove to Mia's townhouse. She was already waiting at her kitchen table with coffee, a laptop, and a look that told me she had thought through every possible outcome. We're finding Lily today, she said. I nodded. Mia tapped the table. Before we go, you need to prepare yourself. She might not believe you. She might defend him. She might even attack you. I know, I said quietly. And if she does, Mia added, you walk away, because then she walks into that venue exactly the way he wants her, blind. I took a deep breath. I'm ready. We started with the boutique. Mia dialed the number and put the phone on speaker. Hello, Sunshine Bridal, a cheerful voice answered. Yes, hi, Mia said smoothly. My niece left her garment bag in one of the fitting rooms yesterday. Her appointment was right after. What was the woman's name, honey? She looked at me. I mouthed Lily Warren. Lily Warren, Mia repeated. Oh, the woman chirped. Yes, Lily was here for her second fitting. She left so fast I didn't even have time to congratulate her. I blinked. Congratulate her? I mouthed. Mia kept her voice steady. Has she chosen her ceremony time yet? Oh yes, the woman said. Their planner confirmed the ceremony will be at 4 o'clock. Mia and I froze. 4 o'clock. The exact time listed under Nathan's second ceremony. Thank you, Mia said sweetly. We'll stop by later. She hung up and looked at me. He didn't just schedule 2 weddings, she said. He scheduled them so close he could jump between them. My stomach churned. Nathan doesn't think consequences apply to him, I said. He thinks he can choreograph everyone. Mia stood. Then we break his choreography. We found Lily faster than I expected. Her social media was open. She posted pictures of her dress fittings, captioned with romantic quotes and snippets of vows. The most recent one was tagged at a cafe downtown. She was sitting by the window when we walked in, dark blonde hair, soft features, hands wrapped around a mug as if she were holding a future she believed in. She didn't look like a villain. She looked like I once did. I approached her table slowly. Lily? I asked. She looked up surprised. Yes. My name is Joanna. I paused. I'm Nathan's fiancée. The color drained from her face. What? She whispered. Mia sat beside me, calm but firm. Please hear her out before you react. Lily's breath trembled. Nathan told me you were an ex. That you were unstable. That you couldn't move on. I let out a hollow laugh. Of course he did. I slid the phone across the table. The timeline. The receipts. The overlapping venue bookings. The boutique confirmation. The voice note of Nathan saying 2 ceremonies. Lily stared at the screen. With every scroll her expression changed. From disbelief to realization to something close to grief. Finally, she whispered. He proposed to me 1 month after your engagement. Yes, I said. He said he ended things with you months earlier. No. He said you were obsessed with him. I met her eyes. Does this look like obsession? Or does it look like a man trying to build a double life and getting sloppy? Lily covered her mouth with her hand. Tears slipped down her cheeks. He told me I was the only woman he'd ever truly loved, she whispered. I nodded slowly. He told me the same thing. She shook, absorbing the collapse of everything she thought was real. I feel sick, she said. How long has he been doing this? I don't know, I said softly. But he planned to marry us both on the same day. In the same building. Just different rooms. A slow, shaking breath escaped her. How could he think he'd get away with this? Because he thinks women don't talk to each other, Mia said sharply. Because he thinks we compare ourselves instead of comparing the facts. Lily wiped her face, voice trembling, but steadier than before. What do you want from me? She asked. Do you want me to back out? Confront him? Expose him? I leaned in. I want you to come with me to the venue on our wedding day. Lily blinked. You want me to walk in with you? Yes. Her breath caught. Why? Because if he wanted two brides, I said quietly, I want him to see them standing side by side. Mia folded her arms. And because if Joanna walks in alone, he'll spin a story. But if both brides walk in, holding the receipts he wrote with his own arrogance, he burns. Completely. Lily stared at me. Do you want revenge? She whispered. No, I said. I want the truth. And I want him to feel it. A long silence stretched between us. Then Lily nodded, slow but decisive. I'm in. My pulse quickened. This was the moment. The pivot. The power shift. Lily looked at me with a trembling exhale. So what happens now? Mia smiled, not cruelly, but with the satisfaction of a woman watching justice arrange its pieces on the board. Now, she said, we build the final act. The morning of the wedding broke colder than it should have. I woke before my alarm, heart pounding with that strange mix of dread and clarity that comes only when you know the world is about to tilt. My dress hung on the closet door untouched. Nathan had chosen it. Nathan had insisted on this shade, this neckline, this entire aesthetic because it photographed well. Today, I would wear it only because it made the trap cleaner. I got ready quietly, methodically. No music. No perfume. Just the small, controlled movements of a woman sharpening herself. At 9 o'clock, Lily arrived at my apartment. She stood in the doorway wearing her own wedding dress, nervous, fragile, but determined in a way that made her look stronger than I ever expected. You ready? She whispered. I've been ready for weeks, I said. Mia stood behind her like an anchor. I'll drive, she said. No fainting brides today. We rode in silence until Lily suddenly said, Joanna, what if he sees us before we walk in? What if he runs? He won't, I said. He's too confident to imagine he can lose. But even as I said it, something inside me tugged. Arrogance makes men predictable, but fear makes them dangerous. When we arrived at the venue, everything looked disgustingly perfect. White flowers, string lights, the kind of setup designed to make guests whisper, "What a beautiful couple," completely unaware they were watching the prelude to a disaster. We parked behind the service entrance. Once we're inside, I said to Lily, no hesitation. He'll try to talk, explain, twist. Do not give him a moment to breathe. She nodded, clutching her bouquet like it was a lifeline. Mia opened the back door. Showtime, she said. We slipped in through the staff hallway and paused near the foyer. I could hear wedding music, the soft murmur of guests, the hum of expectation. Then I heard Nathan's voice. Calm, smooth, charming. The voice he used when telling the world the story he wanted them to believe. He's already talking to guests, I whispered. Lily's breath hitched. Are you ready? I asked. She nodded, but her hand shook. We stepped toward the main hall, just a few feet from the reveal, when a staff member rushed past us, flustered. Thank God someone found you, she cried, grabbing my arm before I could react. Your fiancé is losing his mind. He says he can't find you anywhere. Lily froze. The staffer didn't notice her yet. He's been pacing, the woman continued breathlessly. Something about his groomsmen forgetting the timing, Something about the photographer being late. He's driving everyone crazy. I exchanged a look with Mia. Nathan wasn't calm anymore. He was unraveling. The woman finally noticed Lily behind me and blinked at the sight of two brides. "Oh," she whispered. "Oh my God." We did not have time to deal with her shock. "Where is he?" I asked. She pointed toward the private garden behind the ceremony arch. "He said he needed a minute to breathe." "Perfect." I turned to Lily. "This is the pivot," I whispered. "If he senses even a second of what's coming, he'll run, lie, or get someone to hide him." Mia squared her shoulders. "Then don't give him a second." We walked together toward the garden path, the soft crunch of gravel under our shoes sharp enough to cut through the morning air. As we reached the archway, I saw him, Nathan, standing with his back to us, adjusting his tie in the reflection of a glass door, practicing his vows, smiling at his own reflection. He looked nothing like the man who deserved either of the women approaching him. Before I could speak, Lily whispered, "Let me." She stepped forward. "Nathan." He turned. His smile froze. Shock cracked across his face like glass hit by a hammer. For a moment he didn't speak. Then his voice broke into a strangled whisper. "Why are there two of you?" I stepped beside her. "We thought we'd save you time," I said calmly. "Since you scheduled 2 weddings in one day." He blanched. "Joanna, Lily, listen, I can explain." "No," I said. "You can't." And before he could run, deny, or spin his story, the ceremony coordinator rounded the corner, followed by 3 groomsmen, the photographer, and 2 early guests. All of them froze at the sight of us. 2 brides. 1 groom. Nathan's face collapsed into that desperate shade of panic only a man who has finally run out of lies can wear. Lily inhaled sharply. "Go on," she said to him. "Explain everything." He opened his mouth, but a shout cut through the garden. "Joanna! Thank God!" My head whipped around. It was his mother. Frantic. Pale. Trembling. "Sweetheart," she said, grabbing my hands. "I need to talk to you immediately, before the ceremony starts." Nathan lunged forward. "Mom, don't." But she pushed him away. "It's about the other woman," she whispered. Lily stiffened. Nathan's eyes widened in terror. "What other woman?" I asked. His mother swallowed hard. "The one he married last year." The ground disappeared beneath me. Lily gasped. Mia whispered, "Oh my God." Nathan went sheet white. His mother looked between the 3 of us, grief, shame, and fury tangled on her face. "Honey," she whispered to me. "He never divorced her." The wedding music started. The guests turned, and Nathan tried to run. Nathan bolted toward the back gate, pure panic in motion, but he didn't make it far. Mia stepped into his path like a brick wall in heels. "Move," he snarled. "No," she said simply. Lily and I walked toward him, each step measured, deliberate, almost ceremonial. Guests were beginning to look over, whispering, confused by the tension threading through the garden. The music played on, sweet and oblivious. Nathan spun toward his mother. "Why would you say that?" he hissed. "Because they deserve the truth," she said, voice shaking. "I begged you to end it properly, Nathan. I begged you." My throat tightened. "And what?" I asked, though now I already knew. His mother blinked back tears. "He married a woman named Alana last year. Secretly. They separated, but he never filed. Not once. He kept telling me he would, but he didn't." Lily covered her mouth. "So while he was planning a wedding with you," she whispered, "he was still married to her?" Nathan's face twisted. "I was going to fix it. I just needed time." "You had a year," I said. His jaw clenched. "You don't understand." "No," I cut in. "I finally do." For months he'd painted me as too emotional, too reactive, too dramatic to handle a big wedding. He told everyone I wasn't stable enough. Meanwhile, he was juggling brides like calendar appointments. Behind us, the ceremony coordinator approached cautiously. "Is everything all right?" she asked, eyes darting between our dresses. "No," I said. "But it's about to be." Nathan reached for me suddenly, hands desperate. "Joanna, please let me explain in private." I stepped back. "There's nothing you can say in private that you shouldn't have said in public." People were gathering now. Phones out. eyes wide, the pressure of reality closing in on him like a vice. Lily faced him. You told me Joanna was unstable. You told her I was delusional. You told us both that we were the problem. He shook his head violently. I was protecting you. From what? I asked. From the truth. Silence. He couldn't answer. And that silence said everything. Lily took a breath, squared her shoulders. I want to see her, she said. Alana. The woman you married. Nathan's face collapsed. No. Absolutely not. Which meant one thing. She was close. Mia crossed her arms. Where is she, Nathan? He swallowed hard, throat bobbing. Please, he whispered. Don't do this. But we were far past choices. At that moment the venue doors opened again, and a woman stepped out. Dark hair. Pale dress. Bouquet in hand. Confusion flickered across her face when she saw us. Is the ceremony moved outside? She asked. Nathan made a strangled sound. Lily froze. I felt cold spread through my chest. He hadn't cancelled Alana's wedding. He had scheduled hers at the same venue, same morning, assuming he could usher one bride into a ceremony room and hide the other in a separate wing. He wasn't just cheating. He was industrial-scale cheating. Alana's eyes moved from me to Lily to Nathan. Her bouquet slipped from her hand. Tell me this is not happening, she whispered. Nathan tried to speak, but Lily lifted her chin. Hi, Alana, she said softly. We're his other fiancés. Alana's knees wobbled. You told me you were single, she said to him. You told me you were finally getting your life together. He grabbed her arm. Don't listen to them. They're lying. No, I said, stepping forward, you are. And then in front of his mother, his brides, his guests, and every camera held up by horrified strangers, I said the words that dismantled him completely. Nathan Brooks, you cannot marry any of us today. Lily added, voice steady. Because you are already married. Alana's face crumpled. Nathan went pale. People gasped. Phones clicked. Whispers spread like sparks in dry grass. Everything he built. All the lies, the stories, the split lives, collapsed in one brutal, perfect moment. He looked around wildly like a hunted animal. You ruined everything, he spat. No, I said calmly. You did. Nathan stumbled backward like someone had cut the strings that held him upright. For a heartbeat, the entire venue hung in perfect silence. Even the music stopped. One of the violinists actually lowered her bow mid-note. Then the murmurs began. A low rolling chorus of disbelief, judgment, disgust. That's the groom. He had 2 brides? No, 3. She said 3. Someone call security. Nathan wheeled toward me, chest heaving. Joanna, listen, please, this is getting blown way out of proportion. Lily barked a laugh sharp enough to slice glass. You were engaged to 3 women, she said. What proportion were you aiming for? 90% lies? 99? He swung toward her. I told you we were on a break. We were not on a break, she snapped. You were cheating. Alana stepped forward then. Shaking, pale, bouquet abandoned on the ground like shed illusions. When were you going to tell me? She whispered. Nathan swallowed. I was fixing it. I was going to file. You told me the papers were done, she said. You cried in my apartment. You said you were finally free. He squeezed his eyes shut. Alana, please. But she wasn't listening. She was looking at me. You saved me, she said softly. You could have let me walk into that room alone. I'm sorry you had to walk into it at all. Her chin trembled, but she nodded. Behind us, venue staff hovered uncertainly, glancing at doors, at phones, at Nathan. One of the groomsmen, Ben, finally snapped. Dude, what the hell? He said, stepping closer. Were we supposed to rehearse 3 different vows? I was your best man. Why didn't you tell me? Nathan glared at him. Because you judged me like everyone else. Ben threw his hands up. You lied to everyone, man. Everyone. Nathan turned to his mother next. Last refuge of a man drowning. Mom, help me, he said, voice cracking. But Mrs. Brooks looked broken, shoulders slumped, eyes wet. I begged you to fix this, she whispered. I begged you for months. You said you would. You said you ended it with all of them. He grabbed her hands, frantic. Mom, please say something to defend me. But she pulled her hands away. I think you need to face what you've done, she said. It was the first honest sentence she'd spoken since I met her. Nathan stared at her like she'd struck him. This is unbelievable, he breathed. All of you turning against me. I was the one trying to keep the peace. I was trying to keep everyone happy. Lily's eyes flared. You kept us separated so we wouldn't find each other, she said. That's not peace. That's control. And manipulation, I added. And deceit, Alana whispered. Nathan's jaw clenched as if he could chew through his consequences. This is insane, he said louder, flipping from pleading to anger. You ruined the ceremony. You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself, I said. Someone nearby murmured agreement. Another person raised their phone to record. Nathan noticed and snapped. Stop filming, he shouted, voice cracking. Nobody filmed this. Half the guests lowered their phones. Half didn't. He lunged toward one recording man, but Ben grabbed his arm. Stop, Ben said firmly. You're making it worse. Nathan tore his arm free. You're all unbelievable. Then he turned on me. His voice dropped to a jagged hiss. You did this on purpose. You planned this. Yes, I said. I did. His eyes widened, incredulous. You're proud of this? No, I said steadily. I'm proud that I refused to let you lie your way into a marriage you never intended to honor. He shook his head violently. You're emotional, Joanna. You always were. You overreact, you misunderstand, you twist things. That old line, the one he'd used to silence me for years, landed with a dull thud. I didn't flinch. Lily stepped forward, voice firm as stone. Joanna isn't emotional, she said. She's the only person here who refused to be played. Alana nodded. She protected us. Mrs. Brooks whispered. She protected all of us. Nathan backed away, surrounded, shrinking. Outnumbered by truth. Cornered by consequences. And then he made the mistake of speaking again. I'm the victim here, he said. The venue erupted, gasps, scoffs, laughter, disbelief. He looked around wildly. I am, he screamed. I gave everything to all of you. I was doing my best. His voice broke. He sank onto a chair, hands shaking, fury dissolving into panic. Ben stepped in front of him, voice low. Man, you need to leave. Nathan stared up, stunned. What? This isn't your wedding anymore, Ben said. It's your reckoning. I felt the words settle inside me like closure. Slow, deep, final. Then the coordinator approached me timidly. Would you like us to clear the venue? She asked. I shook my head. No, I said quietly. We're not done yet. Because the final blow, the one he truly deserved, hadn't landed. Not yet. But it was coming. And when it did, everyone would know exactly who Nathan Brooks really was. The morning after the ruined wedding felt unreal. Not quiet. Not peaceful. Just clear. I woke up in my apartment, sunlight stretching across the floor like a clean slate. My phone buzzed nonstop, notifications climbing in an endless stream. Texts, voicemails, missed calls. Mia had sent one message. Do not look at his socials yet. Call me first. I ignored her advice and opened the app anyway. Nathan's name filled the screen. His profile had exploded overnight. Tagged videos, guest recordings, fragments of his meltdown pieced together like a documentary he never wanted filmed. A clip of him shouting, I'm the victim here. Already had thousands of shares. Another clip, him spinning in panic as the recording phone surrounded him, had a caption. When the groom forgets which fiancé he invited. Comments flooded beneath every post. Asterisk, poor Joanna. Asterisk. Asterisk, good for her for exposing him. Asterisk. Asterisk, imagine juggling 3 women and still being this terrible. Asterisk. Lily had posted a statement too short, steady, brutal. I'm grateful Joanna warned me. Yesterday could have been my wedding day. Instead it was my wake-up call. Alana followed with her own. Some heartbreaks save you. This one did. Their solidarity warmed something inside me I didn't know was frozen. But the real shock came from Nathan's family. Mrs. Brooks had posted a long apology, asterisk to me. Asterisk. She wrote about ignoring red flags, about enabling her son, about believing his lies because the truth would have shattered the image she clung to. And at the end, Joanna tried to protect all of us. I wish I had listened. I stared at the screen, stunned. 5 minutes later, my phone rang. Nathan. The name pulsed like an alarm. I let it ring. Then ring again. Then again. Voicemail chime. I pressed play. Joanna, please. Please call me back. I was overwhelmed. Everything spiraled. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. You blindsided me. We could fix this. We could talk. Please call me. He sounded small. Nothing like the man who once stood so confidently telling everyone I was too emotional for a big wedding. Another voicemail came seconds later, angrier. You think you're some kind of hero? You humiliated me. You ruined everything. I could have explained if you were calm for once. But no, you had to turn it into a performance. Congratulations. You got your revenge. A third voicemail followed, breaking and coherent. Joe, I don't know what to do. Please. I deleted all three, then blocked his number. Half an hour later, I got a call from the venue manager. Miss Brockett? We reviewed the footage and the disruption last night. You handled yourself exceptionally. We're refunding your entire reservation. I blinked. That's incredibly kind. We've never seen anything like it, she said. And everyone agrees you deserved better. When I hung up, my apartment felt different. Not lonely. Not empty. Just mine. Then came the knock at my door. I opened it to find Mia holding a bag of takeout and 2 iced coffees. You looked, she said. I looked. She handed me the bigger coffee. You earned this one. We sat on my couch while I told her everything. Every voicemail, every post, every apology. And Nathan, she asked. Blocked. She lifted her drink in a tiny salute. Good. Let him scream into the void. For a moment we sat in silence. Then she said something soft but sharp. You didn't just expose him. You freed the women he was using. I swallowed hard. I wasn't trying to save anyone. You did anyway. I stared down at my hands, realizing they weren't shaking anymore. Do you regret it? She asked. I thought about the look on his face when the truth cornered him. The way the room saw him clearly for the first time. The way I didn't crumble this time. No, I said. I regret staying with him as long as I did. Mia nodded slowly, like she'd been waiting for that line. You know, she said. There's a whole world of life waiting for you now. The weight in my chest loosened. I know. And as the afternoon sun slid through my windows, warming the room around me, I realized something. Yesterday wasn't destruction. It was liberation wrapped in chaos. And tomorrow would be mine again. 2 months after the wedding that never happened. My life feels like a room someone finally opened the windows in. I moved apartments. Not out of fear. Out of preference. Fresh walls. Fresh light. Fresh air that didn't carry the ghost of Nathan's voice telling me I was too emotional. Too dramatic. Too much. Funny how quickly a lie dulls once you step out of it. I filled my new place with things that made me feel like myself again. Soft lamplight, thrifted books, a kitchen table that didn't wobble. A plant I named Courage because I fully expected it to die in a week. It hasn't. One morning while watering Courage, I checked my email and found a message from Lily. Short. Gentle. I'm doing better. Thanks again for what you did. You saved me. I replied. You saved yourself. I just showed you where the exit was. ***. Not long after, Alana wrote too. Therapy's helping. I'm finally learning to stop apologizing for things I didn't break. I smiled. Because that sentence. That was a sunrise. As for Nathan, he tried messaging me from a new number last month. I deleted it unopened. Not out of anger. Out of indifference. A man who builds his relationships on shadows eventually learns what it feels like when the lights come on. He lost his job. His reputation. His curated image. Not because of me, but because truth is heavier than charm. And eventually someone always hears it drop. His mother sent me a thank you card. I never thought I'd see that. She wrote that she wished I'd been her future daughter-in-law, but also that she understood completely why I wasn't. I kept that card. Not as a trophy but as a reminder. People see you clearly once you stop shrinking for them. Life now is quieter, gentler. Not perfect but grounded. I take long walks in the evenings. I cook dinner for myself without guilt. I laugh more. I apologize less. I no longer wait for someone to choose me. I choose myself every day. And when I tell this story, when I look back on the moment I let his secret bride walk into my venue, I don't feel spite. I feel something stronger. Clarity. Because I spent years believing that lower expectations would keep me safe. That smallness would protect me from disappointment. That keeping peace was the same as keeping myself. But that night, when I stepped aside and let the truth speak for itself, I learned something I wish someone had told me sooner. You cannot lose a man who was never yours. But you can lose yourself trying to keep him. So if you're listening to this and you're carrying a version of the woman I used to be, quiet, careful, shrinking so no one calls you dramatic, hear me. You are allowed to want peace. You are allowed to demand honesty. You are allowed to walk away from people who thrive in your confusion. Revenge doesn't always look like ruin. Sometimes revenge is choosing yourself so completely that people who hurt you cannot reach you anymore. My name is Joanna. And this wasn't the end of something. It was the beginning. If my story stayed with you, subscribe. More stories are coming. Stories where women stop apologizing and start reclaiming their lives.